War is the ultimate uncivilised act. By attempting to introduce rules into warfare, you're attempting to civilise that which is inherently uncivilised. War should be avoided at all costs. All steps and all measures should be tried or attempted before going to war. War is not the sign of a strong and powerful government, but rather of a weak one, and one which cannot find another way of resolving differences and conflicts that naturally arise. That having been said, when a war is decided upon as the only course of action left after all others have been tried and failed, a war must utilise all of the power of the state, and all resources should be placed at hand to ensure that the war is executed as swiftly and even as brutally as possible. Failure to do this will mean that the war is protracted, and the results will be greater death and greater destruction than before. Parties outside of the war zone should not intervene to send in aid or assistance to the people in the area affected by war. Medical supplies and food sent into a war zone inevitably go to the soldiers fighting the war before reaching the civilians. Sending in this aid into a war zone enables the war to last longer than necessary, and also leads the people to believe that they can endure the war in hope of gaining something on the battlefield, making war a risk worth taking. If you have a war without the support of the population at large, it tends to end very swiftly. War is brutal. It involves death and destruction on a massive scale. If you attempt to civilise it, to make it less brutal, less horrific, you tempt people into selecting it as a first resort rather than their last resort. Doing that, you're going to make war as an acceptable, almost inevitable part of international diplomacy, and you take the fear out of war. Leaders, soldiers, civilians should fear going to war. We should fear death, destruction, hunger, displacement. It's only with the true realisation of the horrors and destruction that war entails that people will take the greatest steps to avoid it. At least, that's my view.